Correct me if I'm wrong, but LeBron James, 23 seasons. I believe that's the longest career in NBA history. 23 shoes, wearing them every year. Done something that even MJ didn't do. It's just kind of cool as an NBA fan to see something like that happen. And as a sneaker guy, I just think this is dope. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today, we got a detailed look and breakdown on these potential bad boys right here. This is the Nike LeBron 23 years, 23 signature shoes, and he's played in all of them. That, to me, is mind blown. I've been watching the NBA for a long time. I've been playing basketball for a long time. I've been buying shoes for a long time, and nobody ever has done this. Damn it.
It's fine.
I hate when I do stuff like that.
It's okay.
It makes the sound not perfect. And with all of that comes what I would call an extraordinary packaging presentation. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything this cool. The only thing that's come close to it, at least in my experience, has been the Air Jordan countdown packs for the Air Jordan 23 launch. You know what I mean? Where they had 2 packs of shoes and you open them up, the back of MJ with the jersey. Every model was listed from 1 through 22 at the time, and then across from them, like each 2 models equal to 23. So those are going to be the upcoming packs. But outside of that, like, this is the coolest, maybe the defining moments pack from Jordan Brand, also the very first pack.
This one, if you hadn't come in with it, I would have thought it was a media kit. Like,
I know.
When you were showing
That's
it
what
off.
I need to clarify. Even though I wrote this on social, like being like, yo, Nike went all out with this. Nike didn't gift these. I bought these. So the package is insane. Insane. If you guys have seen the Air Jordan 17 low packaging, it's that big. I know, you guys get me every time. The only difference is that inside of the outside box, there's not a briefcase. Instead, it's a clear case, which is kind of a briefcase. It has a pull and everything. But anyways, essentially there's a box within the box. So you've got the initial box, and then inside that there's a clear package, all of which is like done up with like the crown and all of that stuff, all the way down to the shoe. It's insane. And then they even come with trinkets. They have this little, I don't know what it is exactly. It's obviously got the logo and some basketballs, but like, what is it for? I don't know, but it's just this little metal thing. It's kind of cool. At least if you're a LeBron fan, I would assume that that's cool, because if it was me and it was a Jordan product and that was in the box, I'd be like, yeah, that's sick. So it's got to be cool to somebody. But besides the shoes, the coolest thing is actually this book. Inside, the first thing that it says, even though you can barely see it from your guys' end, just because it's all yellow and everything, but it says 23 year, 23 LeBron, 23 moments. And so inside of this book is all about that. I don't want to show everything just because I want you guys to experience it yourself when you get the package, or for those of you that will. One of the coolest parts in here, though, is that there are a couple of pieces that pull out, and then you can tear them out if you wanted to. This piece pulls out into 3 full-on things, and it's just like career moments and stuff. And then this one, you could do the same thing. And this one is obviously a breakdown of the product and the tech within it, and I just love that. So this is something that I think really makes the entire thing pull together. It makes the outside and what content's on the inside just like intertwine perfectly. What Nike loves to call storytelling. Burn. So yeah, whoever came up with this concept, high five. As for the product itself, I have already played in them, but I will do a performance review later on for those of you guys that are interested in that. Basically, I want more time with them. I've only played in them basically one evening, and I just don't feel like that's adequate time to put out any real information. So this will be just a breakdown for all of you guys that just buy product just to wear it casually. Starting with the outsole, we've got wave bone on the bottom, obviously very similar to herringbone. One of the coolest features, though, is actually the design within the outsole itself. It makes up a 23, and I gotta say, that's cool, man. Like, this got me like, oh damn, not even Jordan did this, you know what I mean? They did it on the upper of the Air Jordan 6, where the design of the paneling was a 2 and a 3. But seeing it like that on the outsole is just, I don't know, feels a little different, feels cool. On top of that, they were able to implement flex grooves in there as a functional design piece. So it's like, it's not just there just to be there, there's actual purpose behind it. So I really like what they did. Now moving on up, the cushioning is really interesting because you can't see anything really from the outside. It's a double lasted setup, so that means that the midsole is inside of the upper. Something that I do think is really cool though is when you look at the bottom of the shoe, you can actually see how like the shoe is manufactured, and this is with all products. So you have the upper itself, and then they wrap it over a foot shape, which is called a last, and then they will pull it over and they will basically tack it onto there and get the stroble down. So you could see the stroble that's on there. It's all exposed. It's sick. So yeah, I just really like this just from a sneakerhead standpoint, or like an actual sneakerhead standpoint, or maybe I should call a sneaker nerd sneakerhead standpoint, because I know some sneakerheads don't give a but I really do, and I really like it. So I like that you can see like the components and how they're all put together. It's just nice to see. As for the cushioning itself, it is a drop-in system. Does that mean that we're gonna get different drop-ins with different materials or different cushion setups? I don't think so. Basically, that booklet, in my opinion, kind of seals the deal on that, where it says specifically on there what this is, and I don't see them reprinting them. You know what I mean? Like with different, you know, like changing the midsole out, like different graphics and stuff. So the midsole itself is made up of Zoom X. So this is Nike's latest and greatest foam. This is something that we've seen in a couple of different basketball models now, but it's something that made its debut in the running category, and it's now carried over, which is pretty standard for footwear as an industry as a whole, where a lot of things get tested in the running category first, and then they figure out how to make it stable enough for basketball second. And the way that it feels is kind of interesting. It's not the most Zoom X feeling, you know what I mean? Like if we're talking about boost, and I always say like either it's super boosty or it's not as boosty as I am used to. That's kind of what this is like, where I've already had like multiple different variations of Zoom X, so like I've kind of like felt all the levels, and this is maybe the most muted of them all. Not to say that they're uncomfortable, because they're clearly comfortable. It's just interesting that it doesn't feel as Zoom X-y as some of the other stuff, you know what I mean? Like if we're gonna compare it to say the Jordan 40 or the 39, those are insane levels of Zoom X, and this is not on that level. But anyways, what these do have on there that other drop-ins don't is a massive shank plate right here. This is carbon fiber. It's actually like really thick, not really thick, really firm, I should say. So yeah, it's very restrictive, does not allow for any twisting, which is perfect for people that want torsion support. Something that I like about this drop-in though is that this is my main complaint with Nike basketball right now, this. So for anybody that's wondering, can you take this and put it in a Kobe 9 or a Series Player Only or a Kobe 8? Look at the difference. This is what my foot is shaped like. My foot fits perfect in this. And then this is a bunion. Pushes my toes over. I dislike it with a passion. Kobe 9 midsole, same thing. Series Player Only midsole, same thing. And if seeing them side by side wasn't clear enough, this is on a standard, like what used to be a standard like foot shape and everything. You can see the spillage where the toes are now being pushed this way instead of being rounded outwards to allow for room. And I think that that's Nike basketball's biggest current downfall, is that they are adamant about using this ridiculous foot shape. Like I'm not trying to like be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but this right here is what stops me from wearing the majority of modern or current Nike basketball. So until they fix this, like I can't get down with it. You know what I mean? Like they hurt my feet. I don't know what else to say. Now, as far as the upper is concerned, it's really cool looking, I think. They do give the impression that there's foam posit on here, but when you look at the breakdown, like the one that's inside that little booklet, it just calls it a foot frame. It doesn't say specifically what it's made of, and when I like feel it and everything, it doesn't feel like posit. And on top of that, again, I've already played in these and they're like kind of creasing in weird ways. Posit doesn't do that. So I don't think that this is foam posit material whatsoever. It definitely has that vibe, but I don't think that it is. I think it's just purely like synthetic and all of that stuff. It's something that moves with the foot, but not foam posit. It's not liquid polyurethane or anything like that. And then that is actually attached to an engineered build. So the engineered textile is really awesome. It's intricate as by the way. Like you can print damn near anything in this thing, and it's really cool. This particular one has what I believe are like little palm trees everywhere. I just think that it looks really nice. It's basically a very, very, very thick jacquard. So think all the way back to the Adidas Dame 2, but thicker than that, like built for LeBron instead of a guard like Dame. Now the lacing or eye stay is pretty interesting. What you see the laces go through is a very thick piece of like nylon strand, aka like a fly wire piece. But all of these little, what the fly wire is kind of like going through, each of these pieces is actually attached to a nylon cable that's going down into the footbed. So it's like a kind of like a two-layered or two-tiered system for the lacing. So not only are you lacing and locking down with the fly wire piece, but each of those little like extra components that are wrapping around the fly wire are additional little fingers that are locking you down onto the footbed. So it's really neat. I like it.
I like it a lot.
The tongue is reminiscent of Nike's Torch, but it feels like a little bit tighter. It almost reminds me of the Kobe 9's tongue. So if you like that, then you're gonna like this. Personally, I think that's a good move. Adding some ventilation where there is none is always a great option. The top of the tongue is sick. I'm not talking about colors or anything like that. I'm just talking about the materials. Like, this is some really nice ass leather. I really like the way that they put the little extra piece on there with LeBron's signature and the little like grommets and stuff. I just think that this looks super premium and I really dig it. So when you have something like this that's made out of so many synthetics and textiles, and then you just place a little bit of premium touch somewhere, I think that that's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be premium everything all the time, but as long as there's premium touches on the premium product, then you feel like you got a premium product. And that's exactly what I feel like here. I feel like this is a premium shoe. Even when you move it over and you look at the medial arch area, there's another leather panel where there doesn't even need to be one. It's just there. It's basically like keeping that crown kind of shape within the design, and then they have the crown logo on it as well. Again, super nice move. I f with it a lot. Now, the back liner right here, as well as the back of the tongue, is Nike Sphere material. So much like the previous few LeBrons, it's got the same exact stuff. So it's basically for moisture wicking and for contouring around your foot, like your specific foot shape in that rear section. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, I tried on like 3 different pairs. True to size just felt a little long, so I ended up going down half a size. That is what I would recommend for most. If you're a wide footer, maybe go true to size, you should be fine. But I personally went down half a size and they fit me. As far as like my length fit, they fit perfect. Obviously the shape of the shoe I don't love, but that's not something that changing a size is gonna fix or anything. The shape of the shoe is simply the shape of the shoe. And if you're in the Sacramento or Elk Grove area and you're interested in grabbing a pair of these, they will be available on launch day over at Phenom. So make sure that you follow Phenom over at Instagram, simply at Phenom Global, so that you're aware of their launch procedure, not just for this model, but for future launches as well. And with that being said, what is today's viewer submitted question of the day?
This is a good one because it carries over from the Hallie 1 video we did, and it plays
What
into
the Hallie? I'm just kidding, sorry.
It plays into you talking about how this is LeBron's 23rd shoe. Which signature line have held on for just too long? Like, the player has lost relevance, but they still have a sneaker line.
I don't think that's really up for me to decide because I don't know all the details. Like,
And in no way was I implying that LeBron has held on for too long. I'm just saying this is a monumental moment.
I know, but it's funny that you say that because it is something that is coming up. Like, we put a packaging video on Instagram and on YouTube and stuff like that on the vertical. And I was just messing around, just being like, dude, why is this box so big? You know what I mean? Basically, the comments are just, I mean, to be blunt, they're fucking mean, dude. Like, I can't believe that the internet, I mean, I can, but like, what happened to if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all? Is it the anonymity of it all, where like, it's just like, well, I can't get punched in the face, so I might as well say whatever I want. I think that that's insane. It just shows an insane level of disrespect, despite some of the things that they were saying maybe possibly being true. One of the main things is like LeBron's go to outlets, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what doesn't right now? I do know what they're saying. I understand the gist of things. Yes, LeBrons tend to go to outlets, but even like last year's shoe of the year, the AE1s from Adidas, ended up at their outlets, and it's because there's so many colors. Like, it's not that they're lacking relevance, it's that there's too much product out there. So without knowing for sure sales figures, that is not a question that I would be comfortable giving a true opinion on, because I really don't have anything to base it on. Like, what would I be basing it on? I have no facts. I personally feel like if there's a player with a signature shoe, at least this is the way that it used to be, so I don't know if we still can consider this now, but if there's a player with a signature model, I believe it's because they check all the boxes. They're an all-star, made it to playoffs, they average however many points at because all of these things are like contractually obligated in their sneaker deals. Like, you have milestones, much like everybody should know this that plays 2K at this point, because they have those contracts in 2K. When you hit these milestones, all of a sudden you get a sneaker deal. Like, in the game. That's the way that this works. Like, it's just like that. So I will say that they did sign him to like a lifetime deal, so there's that. Maybe one of the first ones that might like ring true to this, and I feel bad for even saying this because he's like a hero of mine, Iverson. Yeah. Is that what you mouthed? Yeah. So Allen Iverson might be the one, because he's got a lifetime deal with Reebok, and you know, the shoes don't move like they used to, you know what I'm saying? And he's not even a current player, but that's the drawback to risking it all as a shoe brand, signing somebody for a lifetime deal. Like, will LeBron carry this type of legacy after retirement?
Will he be able to sell shoes like Wade?
Right,
So.
and that's a good example too, because that's not even with a mainstream brand.
Yeah.
That's with an overseas brand, and he was able to break the mold. It took him a long time though. Like, that's what people don't understand. Everybody keeps talking about one model, the Wade 10, the Wade 10. I played in all of them, dude, all of them. Even the sublines. You don't even know about those, but we got videos on all of it. Like, it took him 10 models to really break through. It took him 10 models to make a great shoe. That's the main thing.
So what you're saying is, at the end of the day, outside of a lifetime deal, unless that is what they were offered, if a player is still getting shoes made for them, put out to the public, it's because they are seeing some kind of returns. Like,
it's got to be. Otherwise, why are you doing it as a brand?
Yeah, like the brand sees a reason for it.
Yeah, otherwise you get lamelloed. Or not lamelloed, Carmelloed, sorry. Wrong mellow. But yeah, like Jordan Brand cut his shoe contract. You know what I mean? He's still with, like, they still hook him up, but like they cut his signature deal.
Exactly.
They cut Chris Paul's signature deal.
I was going to say Chris Paul was the one.
They both at the same time.
Okay.
Boom, done. You know what I mean? They even made a 13th model that never dropped. He wore it, but that's it. And I think he still wears them. But yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a bummer when it does, but if they still got a shoe deal with a signature line, I've got to assume that it's because that there's numbers behind it. You know what I mean? And if there's not, then I just don't see a brand like taking a hit like that. They even cut D Rose's line, and then they brought it back a little bit. Like, they like half-assed. We see this. Oh, they cut Dwight Howard's line. This shit happens. So yeah. Either way, leave your thoughts down below. Is there a player current? Was that the thing? Or
I
just
guess
in
it
general?
would have to be current. Like, that's still pumped. They're still getting signature shoes.
Yeah, and you feel personally that they don't, I guess, deserve it or something. I don't know. Whatever. Explain. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. On top of all of that, sound off below. Let us know what you think about the LeBron 23. Do you have a pair yet? If you do and you've played in them, sound off and let us know what you think about them. If not, are you anticipating them? Because this is a shoe that's got a lot of stuff going on. But with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And until then, you guys have a good one.
I will say, outside of the tongue, I think they're pretty.
They are pretty.
But it could be just the colors that are speaking to me. But I like the blue, the greenish blue.
Yeah,
I
think
the pink.
I think that they're a dope looking shoe. So, but that's just me personally.
I really like the swoosh.
Oh, people hate it.
Oh, well,
I
am
they
people
hate
and
it
I don't.
I know they hate it because it's backwards. I don't know why.
Only
love
Giannis?
it, but yeah, they just don't like backwards swooshes unless it's on a Travis Scott for some reason. And it's just like the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. It's like the swoosh is backwards. It's a swoosh. It could go any way.